No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. We fly that flow. Spread that gap. No time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that road. Funk and control. Bounce that wall. We fly it all. We fly it all. Funky and free, we fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all.
Greetings, cretins. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the show. It is Sunday Q&A time.
Much lower.
We're also going to be taking a look at
much heavier,
4 batteries that I flew a minute ago with the Maxx Frames M2 on the 4 different tri-blade 2-inch prop options that you can get. There is an HQ prop. There is an HQ 2-inch prop. Where's it at here? So it's going to be, there it is. HQ T2 by 2.2 by 3, but I don't know where to get this from. And I don't necessarily want to order it directly from HQ because they're overseas. I would like to test this prop at some point, but yeah, I don't see it in stock anywhere within the US. If you do, please let me know, because I'll snag a set. I spent a little bit of time on HQ's website looking for the super secret propellers that they've got that, they like secretly rolled out and nobody is selling in cheeseburger land. And there's a bunch actually. This T 2.5 by 2 by 3, this RT 2.5 by 2.1, and then this T 2.5 by 1.9 by 3. I don't see these anywhere. This is the same one, right? TR 2.5 by 2.5. Do I have 2 tabs open with this? No, I don't. There's 4 of them. They have 4 2.5-inch props. That's wild. Yeah, T. They have 2 of them that are T. 2 inches of pitch, 1.9 inches of pitch here, and then they've got 2 of these RT. Oh no, they've got 1 RT and they've got 1 TR. 2.5 inches of pitch here for the TR, and then 2.1 inches of pitch for the RT. I might have one of these. Hold on, let me see. Do I have at least one of these? I don't. Yeah, I don't see these for sale anywhere stateside. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will do an HQ order, because if I can order 5 different propellers, then, you know, it'll be a $30 order, maybe $40 order at least, and that might make sense. I'm certainly not ordering like 2 sets of 1 prop though from overseas. That seems a bit crazy. Yeah, I want to test these. Here's the thing too though, like you guys aren't going to want to order these from overseas either. So why do I have an alarm set for 3:15 on every day of the week? That seems a bit insane. Let me turn off Sunday. There we go. So yeah, I want to test all this stuff and then be like, hey, look, here's the. But then if it's like, hey, this RT propeller is the greatest, good luck getting your hands on it. I guess at that point, maybe I order 50 sets of them and sell them on the Etsy store. But yeah, it's kind of annoying that I mean, it's always been this way in FPV. There's always been stuff that you could get from AliExpress or Banggood that wouldn't come to the US, and sometimes it would be good. But yeah, alas, here we are. In the chat, Flycadelic was first, FizPV, Jeremy Flies FPV, Frank Dr. Nicholas, Adam Weatherall, Doc Holliday, YouTube did the thing, Uriel just on task, Flycadelic again, License to Drive, Stefan, Unanticipated Bill, what's up people? Type at CiottiFPV if you want to talk to me. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com if you like these live streams and what I'm kind of doing here and would like to see it continue. I don't know why it's going to the mobile version of the website, but Patreon helps me the most, as it says right there. Etsy's got some really fun stickers, hardware, and lots of other good stuff. Fiverr, you can work one-on-one with me, or you can just message me. All my contact info is up in here to schedule something out, where you can learn a lot about tuning or soldering or flying or how to build with the right parts so that you build something that works perfectly for you. Teespring for some fun shirts and other apparel. There's a really cool little tote bag there if your flight bag is full and you have like an extra couple things you want to drag around. If you want a cool kill all carbon CiottiFPV tote bag, that's awesome. It's made of like this really nice canvas material, so if you put lots of props in it, they're not going to punch through it, which is kind of nice. On my Etsy store, I have these really cool Micro King, Burger King bags, which are super fun. If you push really hard on this, though, you could puncture a prop through it. But I've had really good luck. These are awesome. They hold like, God, there's at least 5 or 6 sets of 5-inch props in here. It's a really nice size. Put a bunch of props in it. Nice little zipper top closure. Again, that's on the Etsy store. Lots of fun ways to hold your stuff in style. Here's a link to our Discord where we do all of our scheming. Searchable live stream transcripts thanks to Craig. Awesome little website. And then lots of affiliate links. If you're ever ordering from any one of these websites, hit my affiliate link at some point before you check out. And I'll get a small percentage of your total order. You might as well use an affiliate link. It doesn't affect you in any way. You might as well support somebody doing something cool on YouTube that you can watch for free. Change your bookmarks to these affiliate links, or if you're like me and you want to go to Amazon and you just type AMA for Amazon, when you start typing a website, it's going to guess where you want to go. You can remove these suggestions off on the right, or sometimes if you right-click the suggestion, you're going to be able to remove that. And then what you want to do is hit that affiliate link a few times in a row that you want to be your new suggestion. And then you come back up here, you type AMA, and it'll suggest that affiliate link. And then you don't have to try to remember to hit the affiliate links. When you go to a website, you're going to be going to someone's affiliate link. It's going to drop that person's code in your cart, and away you go. The affiliate links clear out after like a week, whether or not you order. So you got to keep hitting them. Amazon, Get FPV, Pyro Drone, Race Day Quads, Newbie Drone, We Bleed FPV, Beta FPV, FPV Cycle, Hisingi, Oh My God, Brain 3D, HD0, Flywoo, Emacs, Banggood, Camera Butter, and AliExpress are all the websites that I have affiliate links to. And there's some more fun stuff down at the bottom here. That's how you support me, friends. I do greatly appreciate it. It is tough doing FPV as a full-time job and not being like one of the, 10, 15 guys that have risen to FPV fame. So support the little guys, yo. Shop small businesses, shop little content creators, Patreon channels. and we'll keep doing cool stuff. We'll keep getting super deep in the weeds and covering all the ultra nerdy stuff. Maxx Frames M2 is holding up really well. I haven't crashed it super hard yet. There is a little bit of a bend that is starting to develop in the frame. As I'd mentioned previously, this is what happens when the carbon fiber is not going the length of the arms. And so what you can see is if I push on this corner versus I push on that corner, this corner moves a lot more. And so and it should probably do the same thing in the front here. So yeah, on this side we've got one of these arms that's bent up a little bit. You can just kind of take it and bend them back, but like after it starts to bend, it's going to bend there more easily. This is where you can kind of see when there's a frame that doesn't have the carbon fiber going in the length of the arm, it's going to be a little bit more flexible. That flexibility, what's interesting about it is that flexibility is going to absorb the energy of crashes, but unfortunately it is going to bend. So it's kind of a neat little situation of like when the arms are a little bit more bendy, what it could do is actually help save the motors, right? Because the arm is going to bend more slowly to absorb the energy from a big hit. And that might save the motor. It's going to be harder on the arm, and when we've got a solid base plate set up, I typically don't like that. I typically like frames with the carbon fiber running in a 45-degree angle so that it goes the length of the arm, so that the arm is stiffer and stronger. But as like a whole kind of platform, it's interesting. It's interesting to have more bendy arms that could potentially save other parts of the build. And if they don't bend so bad that you've got like propellers banging against the frame, you know, who knows? It could be... this is also dependent upon the resonance characteristics. The stiffer the arms are, the more they're going to isolate vibrations from the flight controller. This build's it has been totally fine, though. There's been no tuning problems whatsoever. And so, yeah, there are always a lot of things going on with these builds, with these frames. We got to try not to judge a book by its cover. You know, just because the carbon fiber is going a different direction than what we're used to doesn't make this frame bad. This thing flies absolutely awesome. Like I said, I haven't hammered it really hard yet. Maybe I've had like one really hard crash with it, but this has not been a rig that I've really been pounding on because I've been wanting to fly it a lot and test a bunch of 2-inch props and motors and whatnot. So I've been kind of nice to it, but it's flying great. And yeah, that's a good thing. The more options that we've got out there, the better. I just watched a Mads Tech video. By the way, the 4 propellers that we're testing today are the Emax Avan Blur 2-inch. They're all 2-inch. The Azure, what is that, 2035. My favorites, the Gemfan 2023, the old school one, not the S. And then the old school Gemfan Hulky 2040s. This is an old propeller that used to be out of balance. It's not completely out of balance. It's flyable, but it's not as well balanced as some of these other ones. And so yeah, these are the 4 props that I tested. I think I'm probably gonna do an edited version of this where I drop the full flight. All 4 of the flights with the audio from those flights, like I did with the 2.5-inch Baby Turtle prop testing video. But since I just did this, I figured we could talk about it here today. I didn't have another live stream title, to be totally honest. So I'll play some of those. I played at the opening of the live stream. You were watching the Emax Avan Blur flight footage. That's the battery the majority of the battery that played there. I flew these all on 2S 450s, and it's getting 4 minutes of runtime, and I'm jamming around pretty good, which is pretty awesome. This is a hell of a combo, man. the baby turtles, 2-inch propellers on a really small frame like this with an AIO. Really, really cool. Really fun to fly. Super quiet. Nobody's going to talk shit. None of the neighbors are going to talk shit. Yeah, very impressive. Still waiting for Jesse to get back to me about the clone popper. Unfortunately, I actually messaged him earlier and I said, like, hey, what's up, brother? Get back to me. I want to know what's going on with this. I did do a Weebleed order the other night, though, and since I'm kind of starting to lose hope on the clone popper, I ordered another one of the 3D printed prop pullers that I had really good luck with here before it broke. So I'm going to give this one another shot. It uses these really cool little wires to loop around the propeller. You get a 3-blade version here, and you get a 4-blade version. What I'll probably do is leave this 3-bladed propeller version on that prop puller. And then for bi-blades, the Propodial works stupidly well. Like, this thing is awesome. I throw one of these Propodials in with everything that I ship out. So all the giveaway wins that I do on the first Monday of the month for patrons, and then all of the eBay orders, you get a free Propodial. At the moment, this is my favorite way of removing bi-blade Tiny Whoop propellers. It just works, and it pulls on the motor shaft, which the bottom of the motor shaft has a C-clip on it. And so you're putting all of the force here on the motor shaft, and then you're grabbing the frame. So the only stress that it's putting is on this C-clip, and you're never going to break this C-clip or E-clip, whatever you want to call it. And so the Propodial is, you know, a completely non-destructive way of pulling bi-bladed propellers. And after you've used it a couple times, you kind of figure out how to get it looped under the propeller in the ducts, and it's quick and it's easy and it just works, man. On flimsy tri-blade propellers, though, this is not the greatest option because it's going to pull on 2 of the blades and not one of the other blades. And so I don't necessarily recommend this for tri-blades unless you're stuck and you have to. There are better ways to pull tri-bladed propellers off of Tiny Whoops. If you're pulling the props off because they're banged up, who cares, right? And if you're replacing the props, whatever. But if you're just pulling the prop off to get hair out of it or something like that, the Propodial is going to potentially bend 2 of those blades up. The HQ Ultralight props are strong enough that they seem to be okay, but like the Gemfan 1207s, the Azzy tri-blades, they won't survive being removed with the Propodial. So that's where this cool puller that I forget what it's called. The Grappler, it might be called the Grappler. Weebleed sells it. Yeah, this is going to be beautiful for pulling tri-blades without screwing them up. So there you go, friends. YouTube did the thing, said evening all. Hey, CiottiFPV, I'm here to do my thing. Do it, brother. What else? I just watched a Mads Tech video reviewing the CiottiFPV 3.5-inch frame. The Era 3.5 mini frame kit. The only problem with this frame is this. $107 for a 3.5-inch frame that's pretty nutty. Quadmula has 2 3.5-inch frames. One of them is bomb-proof, like that CiottiFPV Era frame. The other one is going to be significantly lighter. So we've got the Siren F35 split. This is going to be the lighter weight one. And then they've got the Siren A. This is going to be the super heavyweight one. The Siren A is admittedly still pretty expensive at $75. The F35 split is only $48, which is way more like what we're used to spending for micro frames, right? I mean, hell, even $48 is kind of expensive, but Quadmula's hardware and packaging is just unbelievable. And so for $48, this is absolutely worth it. The Siren A has some really nice 3D prints included, and the arms are big and beefy, and like $75 it's a lot, but it's incredibly well designed and well built. $107. Woo boy, like for a 5-inch frame, sure, but for a 3.5-inch frame, I don't quite know. Also, this is very heavy. This is a 100-gram frame. The Siren A is unbelievably beefy, and it's a little bit lighter than that. And then the Siren F35 Split is significantly lighter. I don't have this frame to weigh it, but let's see if they have a weight here in their specs. 55.5 grams. So this is a much more normal weight. This Siren A is very, very heavy, but you know, you put like big ass 1604.5 or 1804 motors on this with an 04 Pro, and you're gonna have something with a lot of weight and a lot of throw, and it's gonna be a really fun kind of, almost sort of as close to a 5-inch flight experience as you can sort of get. This is, yeah, whoo boy. I'm sure I've heard. So I've been watching a lot of Nils Vo lately. He kind of flew under the radar. I knew that he was around, but I didn't realize he was putting out such good content. He's been flying the 5-inch version of this. So my initial take on this, this front area. Let's see if I can find a better picture of it here. Just a screen. That's kind of weird. They don't have a better. Well, here they go. This front canopy on this on these CiottiFPV frames, there you can really see it, is molded nylon, which initially I was a little bit weirded out by, but Nils crashes a lot and he crashes hard, and his has held up beautifully. And so this nylon molded front piece is probably why this frame is so expensive. I can't imagine that it's cheap to get molded nylon done here. And so that is almost certainly why this is such an expensive frame. The arms are very, very thick. These are 4mm thick arms. I don't even think the Siren A has 4mm thick arms. Let me check for you though. Let me just hold it up to. It's the weirdest thing in the world. I use my OmniFixo. The OmniFixo has a ruler on the front, and I use it like a lot. It's kind of silly, but the Siren A has. Well, that might be 4mm. That's either 3.5mm or 4mm arms. What I can tell you is that the arms on this thing are bomb-proof. Like they're unbelievably strong. So yeah, I think that the Siren A, if you want a giant, heavy 3.5-inch rig, I feel like this is kind of the way to go. If for some reason you want maybe one more step up in durability, I guess maybe this Era 3.5 is going to be the way to go. But boy, the price and the fact that it's overseas, you're probably going to get blasted on shipping and God knows what tariffs we've got today. Yeah, Quadmola is in the U.S. And this is awesome. Their products are really wildly well thought out and designed and produced. So I don't know. Again, great to have more frame options than less, but yeah, there's a point where it's like that's kind of too heavy and or too much money. So those are my sort of thoughts on it. You feel free to, make up your own mind. Hey, I thought that I had another 04 Pro. I do not, and I need one sooner than later. Has anybody seen 04 Pros anywhere in stock? It's looking like I'm probably gonna have to take the 04 Pro out of the Avata Killer to put into one of these AOS Cine, the AOS Cine 3.5. The 3.0 is good to go. It's almost done actually. I was waiting on some 3D prints, but now I've got them. I've got the whole rear setup all figured out. I just need to update the ELRS, update the 04 Pro, and then just bolt the 04 Pro to the bottom plate. And that's pretty much it. This is good to go. I've spent some time figuring out the front plates, doing a bunch of 3D printing to make these guards for the front of it, figuring out like the perfect way to have keep this thing off the ground. You know, I land these things on the asphalt a lot when I'm waiting for the cyclists to come back around, and so a proper setup of landing gear is kind of important. Otherwise, I would just annihilate these screws. So yeah, this is going to have a zip-tied foam bastard up here, and then it's got these little rubber guys in the back corners that I've E6000 down, and so that'll be should be a really good set of landing gear. And then this rear setup, so again, this is the bottom plate. So this is kind of right side up the way you're looking at it. We're going to have one of the dual band 900 2.4 gig antennas up here, nice and high, so that when it's flying, that's the highest point. And then there's going to be another one. This 3D print from AOS is actually kind of nice. It's not kind of nice, it's really nice. It's got two 45-degree angle, you can't even see them, but there's one of them. Two 45-degree angle mounts for the DJI antennas. And then it's got one central 45-degree mount here that I'm going to send these little, one of these dual ELRS antennas down. I'm going to have to kind of E6000 it, but it's going to poke right through this hole in the frame. You can kind of see it down in there. And so there'll be one antenna going right down through here, and then it should stick right out here. And that should be like kind of the ultimate antenna setup. One horizontal ELRS up higher than anything else when it's flying forward. One of them perfectly vertical, so that like in this orientation, when I'm in the null of this antenna, this 45-degree antenna will be perfectly vertical. And then the DJI antennas being up at a 45-degree angle, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do with them because the wires are kind of short. I need to find, for the 3.5, it's looking like I need to find a longer 04 antenna for it. So I got to dig that up, because these antennas, I just sort of test fit it. This is the same print, so this is how the DJI antennas are going to sit. It doesn't look like in this bigger 3.5 frame the UFLs are going to reach, so I do need to scramble to find. I might have them. I might have a set of 5.8 left-hand circular polarized antennas floating around here that I can use, but yeah, I need to figure that out. Look at the size difference. I know it's only a ½ an inch of propeller difference. I don't need this. This is the top plate. But like the size difference between these two frames is kind of absurd. I don't quite understand how going from a 3-inch propeller to a 3.5-inch propeller makes this much of a difference, but boy, that is crazy, the difference between these two. I guess it's because we don't usually look at the outer. We usually just look at like the arms, and so like we look at an arm that goes here versus an arm that goes there, and it doesn't look that much bigger. When you have guards around the outside, it really shows the difference in size between 3 and 3.5. So yeah, this AOS 3.5 should be interesting. I have a feeling this is going to be 399.9 grams. And I also have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to run bi-blades on this. I was really hoping that on this 3.5-inch AOS Cine, I would be able to run bi-blades so that it would do better in the wind and be more efficient. But I have a funny feeling that it's not going to have enough power with the bi-blades on it. But we'll see. So yeah, the Cine builds are coming along. I'm hoping to have them done by like Tuesday or so. I'm hoping to have this one done by Tuesday, because I've got the AIO coming, I had to order another one. I thought I'd be able to do a 20 by 20 stack in these, but nope. Not gonna happen. So yeah, the most important thing right now is if anybody knows of a 04 Pro in stock somewhere, or if you have a buddy selling one or something like that, I'm willing to spend $300 on one. There is one on Amazon right now for $350. I'm not, that's bullshit. I'll take the Avata killer apart before I spend, I mean, they should only be $280, but I am willing to spend $290 or even $300 on them. I need it in like a week and a half to two. I guess I need it within 2 weeks, which is tight time frame. Ideally, I would like it in 2 or 3 days so that I can hammer that AOS Cine 3.5 build out. I'm almost certainly gonna pull the VTX out of the Avata killer, because the camera that's in there is the camera for this broken 04 Pro. This out of the box, the memory card port just doesn't work. Everything works fine, but it won't record DVR, and I tried everything. And then the last thing I tried was just taking this out and putting the other VTX in, and everything worked perfectly on that one. So, yeah, this needs to go in for repair. When that all happened, DJI was not doing repairs. And so this has just been sitting on for the US because, we're assholes. Apparently now they are doing repairs, so I got to go in and fill out the repair thing. But their repairs take like months. I sent an 04 Lite in for repairs early days. And they did it for free, but it took 2 full months for it to come back. So, and I obviously don't have that amount of time, so it's just still sitting here. But it is great that it looks like I'll be able to have it repaired again. If I can hopefully find another 04 Pro, that will finish up the cinematic rigs, and then when this comes back repaired, this is what's going to go in that Siren A, and we'll be able to see what 04 Pro is like in a very competent, like, potential replacement for a 5-inch build, right? Like what's exciting about this era 3.5 frame, the Siren A frame, is that these are big, heavy, beefy 3.5-inch builds that will carry around a incredible camera platform in the 04 Pro and potentially replace a 5-inch build carrying an external HD camera, right? These are going to be like 350 to 400 grams all up weight. That might be a little bit too much for the 3.5-inch prop size. It might make sense to go to a 4-inch prop at that point. I'll let you know. Maybe not, but maybe. That'll be fun. I'm excited. I would love to not have to... I mean, I have a few Session 5s left. So, like, if I was going to go out and do, like, hard 4K freestyle, I could certainly still take a 5-inch rig. But, like, what's important to remember is being able to shrink that down to something smaller and lighter helps with everything. It makes a lot less noise. It doesn't kill someone if you hit them in the head, potentially, right? Like, there would be a ton of advantages to having a 3.5-inch build that flies just like a 5-inch build, actually flies just like a 5-inch build, right? Because it's going to be heavy. It's going to have lots of power. I guess you could argue that it's not going to fly exactly like a 5-inch build, because you can make a 5-inch rig that's 700, 800 grams that still flies good, and like that amount of weight is going to carry a little bit more than something like this at 350 or 400 grams. But I think you'll get 98% of the flight characteristics out of something like this. Or if you want to continue saving weight, you do the regular Siren F-35 split. You're going to break arms on this. They are removable arms, so on one hand, who cares? Let the arms break. It'll hopefully save the motor. 2 screws, pop the arm out. Well, 2 screws for the arm itself, 4 screws for the motor. Swap it out in the field. Away you go. You're back in action. Save a bunch of money. This will be even lighter. You know, building this out, it's probably going to be about 300 grams or so. So yeah, lots of different really good options. We're lucky, man. We're very lucky to have so many incredible frame options and motor options and electronics options nowadays. Also, hey, if you're looking for an incredibly durable 5-inch frame, it's looking like the CiottiFPV era 5-inch frame is, you know, now that Impulse RC is gone, this might be it, man. I would not do it with 04. If you're gonna go 04, go with a micro. I think that the regular, $142. Yikes. I assumed that this would be like $100. Wowee. $142 is an awful lot. What I will say, though, is that this frame seems to be absolutely bomb-proof. And so even though you're going to spend a lot of money on it, it's going to hold up, and it's not going to break, and that's going to save you money. And so, yeah, $142 is pretty gnarly. Again, I'm sure they're spending a lot of money having these nylon molded front canopies made, and that's one of the things that that's going to make it so durable. So yeah, if you want a absolutely super premium 5-inch frame, this seems to be a good one. I'm trying to see. I'm pretty sure that the arms are 6mm thick, but I'm hoping to kind of confirm that. I can't believe that that's not like flashing in bright orange. Hold on, let me do a search for 6mm. Yeah, 6mm. There we go. So yeah, man, unbelievably durable. Shout out to Nils Vo for opening my eyes to how good this frame is. Also, he's got a video testing motors. T-Motors did really well in his testing. He likes these 2306 and a half motors. I don't doubt they're great for a frame that's probably this heavy. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a 140 gram frame. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to build 650 grams all up, you don't need this big of a motor. But if you're 700 plus grams, a 2306 and a half motor is going to make a lot of sense. I can't believe there's not a frame weight anywhere. Maybe there is. Maybe it's buried in the text here, but I don't know. I think the weight of the frame and the thickness of the arm should be the first two items that you... But hey, that's just me. So yeah, lots of good options for frames nowadays. We're super lucky. Maybe someday I'll have my own option for you for a 3-inch frame. License to Drive says, for an indestructible 3-inch quad, you need indestructible props. Print some TPU ones. Yeah, props are always, you know, we know this from 5-inch rigs. Props are always going to be the weak link, but that's a good thing. The props hitting the ground first are going to slow it down a little bit, and so when you bend a propeller, that took some of the hit and reduced some of that energy from dumping into the motors or the arms or God knows what else. So yeah, props are sacrificial. Nice and cheap. Uriel says, I checked, I can buy a set on Ali, but same seller cannot deliver the wide view. So if I order a set, most likely I have to wait again. I have no confident seller to buy, but I keep checking. I appreciate it, man. Don't kill yourself checking. It's super. I appreciate. Uriel is trying to find me a 04 light with the Flywoo wide angle lens because those also sold out everywhere. B. Kirk says, I have a used one in hand and a new one from Flywoo coming in about a week. If you're willing to send that to sell me that used one, I will absolutely buy it. message me if you don't mind. If not, I get it. It's all good. Unanticipated Bill says, my Era 3.5-inch is 260 grams dry. Whoa. And I'm running the GemFan 3.6-inch props, and it's pretty perfect. 260 dry. Holy hell. There's going to be at least another 100 grams of battery on there. So that's 360 bare minimum. At that weight, though, it might need a heavier battery than that. So that thing might be at 400 grams all up. With 100 gram of battery is the 4S850. 4S850 is an awesome battery for these builds that are 250, 300, even like 320, 330. But once you get up to 360, 370, 380, 390, 400 grams, it's probably going to need a battery bigger than 4S850. So now we're talking like 4S1050, and I think those are 130 grams. So that puts unanticipated bills all up weight at 390, 400 grams. That's wild. That might be a little bit too much for a 3.5-inch propeller. It might start to not have enough float, and at that point might want to go to a 4-inch prop. Apparently the Era 3.5 is going to have, or currently has, 4-inch arms available, so that's really good. I don't know if Quadmola has done that. I don't know if they've got 4-inch propellers. I don't think you would need them, though. Their frames are significantly lighter, so you might not need a 4-inch propeller for the Siren A. This is certainly where you would want to put a 4-inch arm. Let's see. Yeah, see, no, they go from 2.5 to 3 to 3.5 to 5. So, yeah, there you go. In the chat, we're all caught up. Let's dive into some 2-inch Maxx Frames M2 flight footage. So first up, I tested the Azure 2-inch 35 pitch propeller, 2035. You can get, I think, all of these propellers from Pyrodrone. Pyrodrone's doing a great job. The 2.5-inch version of this propeller is my preferred prop on all of the live broadcast rigs. I found somebody that did some thrust testing on a bunch of 2.5-inch props way back when, and the Azures did the best. And I'm always looking for more power from those cinematic rigs because the cyclists are fast and the wind is nasty. And so a little bit of extra weight is always really, really nice. Sorry, a little bit extra thrust is always really, really nice. And so that's going to be the first flight that we look at here. And that should be this one. 1, 2, 3. And then the fucking HD0 goggles just randomly recorded the last flight file in .ts for no reason. Which is going to be really annoying for when I try to edit these 4 together because TSs are just a complete pain in the ass to deal with. But here we go. So
HDLRC.
Where's the audio? What?
1202.5 motors.
Hey,
that's
there
me
it goes.
just flying.
That's weird. I'm gonna let the audio play a little bit.
These are the Azure 2-inch props on the Maxx Frames M2. Wow, it's windy. Jeez.
For this battery, it was way more windy. Let me turn off this.
HDLRC.
There you go. So
2.5 motors. That's me just flying into the wind. It just stopped me.
Here, let me mute it a little bit. So the setup is Maxx Frames M2 2-inch.
So Azure 2-inch props. These are tri-blades.
Oh God, not HDLRC. The other company with an acronym for their name.
Wow, I carried like crazy.
It's just an
The wind is going right to, yeah, so that was riding the wind that whole time.
BT 3.0 2S 450 mAh batteries. Let me get you guys an all-up weight on this thing with those batteries. And then, yeah, HDLRC, I think made by RCM Power, 1202 and a half, 11,000 kV motors. This setup has tons of power. This
So
is
these props are light enough. That's nice.
CO3 camera as well. So these Azure props at full throttle, you're going to see them wobbling around a little bit.
That was
They are
really
not
cool looking.
perfectly balanced, which is a shame. They're not that bad, but they're not great. And two of these other propellers are great, and they don't do that nonsense. And so the Azure
having
props,
to like
I don't know, man. I don't know why you would run
think
them.
about the wind.
Uriel says echo. Hopefully there's not an echo. I think that was just the audio playing from
At full throttle, these props are not
from this. Hold on, let me just double check it though.
perfectly balanced. We got a little bit of a
Nope. Yeah, the echo is coming through. I'm sorry.
little bit of something there.
There we go. That'll be better. Well, you guys got to listen to some of the onboard recording. All up weight on this thing is, it's going to be a little bit different with the different propellers, but 75-ish grams. 75, 76 grams is the all up weight for what you're watching here. So there, 53,000 RPM from the Azure propellers. Let me just check. I'm 2 minutes and 20 in. Let me check and make sure I did a good full throttle slam early in the battery here. So that was a little full throttle blip. I just want to make sure I laid into it pretty good while the battery was fully charged for that RPM number. Battery's still pretty fully charged. Come on, past me. Do a big punch out. Go over to the left and do a big punch out, you idiot. Come on. All right, well, it's a good thing that these props aren't balanced because it doesn't look like I did a big punch out at completely full throttle. Here we go, though. I probably do one right here. Let's see. So, but yeah, the battery is all the way down to 4 volts. Whatever. These props aren't well balanced, so there was one. Okay, so that would have gotten the motors up to full RPM. So 53,000 RPM. That's pretty good from the Azures. Great power. Durability is not going to be great on them because of the weird shape. The Azure props have this. One of the reasons that they're so efficient and make so much power is because of that blade shape. Unfortunately, this blade shape, when these blades bend and you go to bend them back, they never bend back straight. So durability on these props kind of sucks. These are great for like a cinematic setup if you're not going to go full throttle where they seem to be out of balance. The balance seems to be fine at everything but full throttle. And I know that this is an efficient blade shape. So yeah, interesting propeller. For freestyle, I'm not going to recommend it because the durability is going to be annoying. And at full throttle, they're shaking all over the place. I did not make any PID changes. No changes were made to the frame. I used the same prop screws even. So this is a totally fair test of these propellers. Could I maybe like add TPA in to calm it down at full throttle? Maybe, but don't, because there are 2 other propellers coming up that you won't have to deal with that. So yeah, the Azure 2-inch props, I don't know. It's no. You guys are having the stream cut out. I have no control over that, unfortunately. Oh wow, I've dropped frames. I might have control over that. Hold on. What's happening, computer? Why are you dropping frames? It shouldn't be dropping frames. The CPU is cruising along at 25%. That's weird. It's got to be on YouTube's side. Well, good thing I'm making an edit with this flight footage so that you can watch it without stuttering all over the damn place, because YouTube just cannot get its shit together when it comes to live streaming. So yeah, that's the Azure 2035. Interesting propeller, cool looking. It comes in a really nice green and blue, but it's not the best option for a freestyle rig. You could maybe make an argument for it on a cinematic rig that you're not going to use full throttle ever on, but I don't know. I don't recommend them. 4 minutes and 2 seconds of runtime. Battery voltage is bouncing back to like 615, 620. I ran this battery way too far down. Up next is the GemFan Hulky.
Used to be not balanced,
another
but
really pitchy prop. This is very, very old. I was surprised because when these first came out many years ago, they were pretty out of balance. I don't know if maybe they fixed the mold. I don't know if you can fix molds, or maybe they made another mold. But they're fine here. Every once in a while, though, you're going to see like a weird little judder. Somewhere in the middle of the throttle, these are out of balance. And they're causing a very weird judder. Oh, weights of these propellers. One of the perks of being a patron is that you have access to this giant Google Doc that I've got with FPV weights, and there are tons of propellers in there. So the Azure 2035s are 0.817 grams per propeller. These Hulkies that we're flying right now are 0.825 grams. So they're even heavier. The next propeller up is the Emax Avan Blur. And that guy is 1.163 grams. Way heavier. And then the last propeller that we're going to fly is the GemFan 2023. And that is... Come on. GemFan 2023 is 0.863 grams. So these Hulkies are the lightest of these propellers, but they're not well balanced enough. That little test that I was doing is actually an antenna test. So let me go back here. I'm going to let the audio play.
In front of this tree. This is on the Omni. If I turn my head to the right, that's on the patch. Turn my head to the right, that's on the patch. Front of the tree. I'm going to switch the patch antenna in a minute. And we'll see how the other one does.
This is the
circular
patch
polarized
antenna
patch
that was just
antenna.
looking at.
I also have a linear
Maxx,
patch antenna that I want to try by Menace.
RHCP, and then the quad has an ORT micro V on it. The next two flight files, I did that same test, but on a linear patch antenna. The Menace Bandicoot.
My word.
This is a patch antenna specifically designed to pair with linear antennas. It's not circular polarized. And I was hoping that I'd be able to see a difference, but I don't think I quite did. You can make up your own mind. It feels good to pair a linear patch antenna with a linear antenna and all, but it's the wrong color for these goggles, so I'm probably going to go back to the Axie. But yeah, I've been meaning to test that linear patch antenna, and I finally remembered. So yeah, here's a little bit more flying with the GemFan Hulky 2040s. This is the pitchiest prop that we tested. It didn't blow me away. The fact that it's out of balance and there are other propellers that are balanced is sort of the kiss of death. So I can't really recommend these. They're also very hard to find. But there you go. Hulky 2040 has been tested. And I now own it. This was like the only 2-inch tri-blade that I didn't own. We're going to go to the next flight file. And now this is the flight file that played at the beginning of the live stream. These are the Emax Avan Blur 2-inch tri-blade propellers. Super strong, super heavy. As I just said,
well
super
balanced.
Strong and super heavy, these props. If you're going to bash the shit out of it, this is the propeller that you want. Very well balanced. All of those weird judders that we were getting, either at full throttle or at mid throttle, are completely gone. So these props are much better balanced. Here's the linear antenna. Here's the Menace linear antenna. Now I'm turning my head. So the comparison point when I first go to the tree is I'm not pointing the patch antenna. Now I am pointing the patch antenna over there.
So the patch is definitely working.
Hold on.
But by Menace,
let me let the audio
I'm not
play.
turning my head right now, so it's on the Omni. I'm going to turn my head, and it's not much better, if any better at all. Turn my head back straight, and then my head back to the right. So the patch is definitely working.
So that's also a look at patch antenna versus Omni antenna. When I'm not turning my head, the patch antenna is not doing a goddamn thing, and the True RC Singularity CP is doing all the work. And then as soon as I turn my head and the patch antenna is pointed in the correct direction, you can see it clears up a lot. So yeah, there you go. There's a patch versus no patch comparison. So yeah, these are the Emax Avan blurs. What you're gonna see at the end is a much, much lower RPM on these propellers. They claim to be 1.9 pitch, but they're not. They are a very pitchy, very heavy, very sturdy propeller. They're fun, they fly great, but you do lose some response time from them being so heavy. You're going to see it in a second. Hold on. Maybe not. Hopefully you can see that it's a little bit softer. No. Yeah, good prop. There you go. There's an example. A really sharp roll move. And it's sharp. It's got decent response time on these 1202s. 1202 and a halfs, I should say. But compared to the next prop, I could absolutely tell a difference. Let me get to the point where... I'll make sure I didn't disarm it yet. No. Okay, I didn't disarm it yet. So we'll, towards the end of the battery, we'll disarm and you'll get to see the RPM. It's shockingly low. I really can't believe the difference in full throttle RPM between the blurs and some of these other props. But when you have a really strong propeller, a lot of times it's also going to be a more pitchy propeller. And the fact that it's heavier and pitchy totally explains the lower RPM. And so, yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. I'm just kind of screwing around here a little bit. Another 4-minute flight. Again, 2S 450 mAh batteries, BT 3.0. It flew great on these blur props. It really did. And if I was going to crash this thing super hard all the time, this is absolutely the propeller that I would run. I'm not going to do that, though. That is not the plan for this rig. So we went from 59,000 to 42,000. I have to assume that this propeller sagged the battery like crazy because it's so heavy and because it's so pitchy. And so... yeah, that's kind of a bit much. Let's actually look at the full throttle punch that I did and see how low it did sag the battery. So it's right after this. Slow it down here. So full throttle, full throttle, full throttle, full throttle. So I saw 3.27. So it really sagged the battery down. Boy, did it go hammering up into the sky, though. That was a hell of a full throttle punch. Ready? Here it comes. Look at that float, 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 float. So they make good power, but they're going to hit your battery pretty hard. 1202 and a half is probably the smallest motor that I would pair with this propeller. You might want to go up to a bigger motor, like a 1303 or something like that for this motor. And then the last flight file is a .ts. And Oh, it's playing just fine. This application INA is amazing. It plays everything. So here comes a full throttle punch with this one, and it only sagged the battery down to 3.47. So this is the GemFan 2023, not the 2023S. This is the old school 2023 that has T-mount holes. And this is my favorite of the 2-inch propellers. It's a really nice mix of lightweight but still sturdy and strong. It's very well balanced, full throttle, mid throttle, no nonsense like the other, like the first two props that I tested. You can get them like these are available at a bunch of different stores. So yeah, GemFan 2023 I think is the way to go on these motors at 11,000 kV. They make good power. Look at that response time. But we're both testing roll and yaw there. That's one of the best tests of response time. Is you get a head of steam up and then you just slam pitch and roll and see how quick it rotates around. These are awesome. Really, really cool. Good propeller. Strong enough thrust, just the right amount of pitch, well balanced. Yeah, super fun. I'll let the rest of this play out because it didn't play at the beginning of the live stream. And I'll take a look at the, and I'll get caught up on chat a little bit. So let me turn my previous self down a little bit. Kevin Sumner says every so often the molds have to be remade. They eventually grind down so minor revisions can be made. When the molds are remade, Lego cycles their molds very quickly to keep up quality. I didn't realize that they cycled molds out that quick. That's cool. Good shit. That makes sense. So I have a feeling that they've fixed the GemFan Hulky 2040 mold, but they're still not well balanced enough. This is now me testing 400 milliwatts versus 200. Previously it was on 200, now it's on 400.
All the way down.
Here's the difference.
Around the corner, in front of the tree, my head is facing forwards. Now my head is facing to the right. Not much of a difference. Just moving my head around to the right to point the patch antenna over there. This is a Menace linear patch antenna. And now my head's straight again.
So there you go. Linear patch antenna, linear ORT micro V antenna on the quad. I will admit the antenna placement is not the best on this. This antenna is set up for durability. This rear antenna mount is for regular linear antenna. But what I did is I jammed the ORT micro V. Let me grab the bench cam here. I jammed the ORT micro V in there in a way that it's completely protected. Come on, you bastard. There it goes. See that? So this is a super basher kind of antenna setup, but the active element of the antenna is inside of TPU, which is never a great idea. It's not the worst, but also this antenna is down low. So when I was hovering this thing a minute ago, if you are the goggles, right, and the patch antenna was pointed, this quad was basically sitting, so if you're this way diagonally, this quad was sitting like this. So the antenna was not in the worst position. Like the antenna was not necessarily behind the battery per se, but the antenna also wasn't in a great position. That's kind of what you want when you're trying to test antennas because it's hard to tell the difference between stuff. But yeah, again, what we tested was a right-hand circular polarized. Well, first, when my head was straight, we were on a right-hand circular polarized True RC Singularity. When I turned my head to the right on the first flight file, we were testing this Axie patch antenna, 5.8, right-hand circular polarized. And then I swapped on this Menace Bandicoot 5.8 linear antenna. And then just now that final test was this linear antenna, but instead of 200 milliwatts on the quad, 400 milliwatts on the quad. The AIO is made by... It's not HDLRC, it's the other company that has the acronym for their name. God damn it. Is it written on there? No. Why would you write the name of your company on your product? It is JHEMCU. This is the JHEMCU 1 to 2S AIO with VTX on board and ELRS on board. And when I went from 200 milliwatts to 400 milliwatts, as you just saw, it made practically no difference. Let's just finish this. Am I? Well, there was the RPM. Oh wait, no, we missed the RPM. Hold on. Where did I change? Where did I land to change the? This is the other problem with the .ts files. You can't scrub through them. They're just .ts is terrible. There we go. 45,000 RPM. That's not that much. How the hell did it hit 50-something thousand RPM on those other propellers? That's wild. More RPM than the blur props though. And great power. All four of these propellers had roughly the same amount of power. The blurs probably had a little bit more, but these all have plenty. Like yeah. None of them were lacking in power.
Check the response time here. Look at that, dude. It's just.
Wait, no, we were over here.
Save and exit. Yeah, the 200 milliwatts. Actually, change that VTX setting real quick before I forget. Change it back to 200 milliwatts.
Damn it! I was hoping to see
before I forget
what the RPM was.
Back to 200 milliwatts.
Jesus, I got into the menu so quick. Here, this will do it. Disarm 41,000. Okay.
200 milliwatts.
All right, so here's the end of this flight file with my favorite props, the GemFan 2023s. Now you know they're the ones that I think you should get. They're the best all-rounders. If you want to try something else, get the Emax blurs. I don't know why you would get
when you can get this much float.
I don't know why you would get out of balance. Why you would go with out of balance props, other than like the Azores come in that really cool green and blue color. And they are okay. Like the first two props that are out of balance, like they're all right. It's not the end of the world, but they're also not good. That's one of the few crashes that I've put through this frame. That might be a part of the reason that the arms on the right side seem to be bent upwards a little bit more than the arms on the left side. But yeah. This has been a frame that is shockingly durable. And Maxx Frames has told me too that like the folks that he's had flying it, they've had really good luck with it from a durability standpoint as well. So yeah, the arms bending is going to absorb some energy. It's just at some point, if the build gets heavy and or powerful enough, it's going to delaminate the carbon. But it looks like this particular frame might not be in that scenario. It looks like it is strong enough. And there you go, a little bit less runtime, but I think I was a little harder on the throttle for that battery.
It's, the way that you fly
some
has more to do with the runtime than anything else. I might have been
2-inch propellers. Like I said, I'll probably do like a full-blown edit, like a 20-minute edit with the raw flight footage in full quality, not getting massacred by YouTube's worthless live streaming compression. Yeah, super fun, man. 2-inch open prop is an absolute blast. I think that 1202.5 is the right motor size because it gets you a 2mm motor shaft all the way down through the stator. I would love it if we could get a slightly small. I think these maybe have a little bit too much power. I would love if there was maybe like a 1202 out there, or The 1103 motor, I think, is actually a better motor size, but you can't get them with a 2mm motor shaft all the way through. It's a 1.5mm motor shaft all the way through. These ones, I misspoke. These are not 2mm all the way through. These are 1.5mm up above the bell, 2mm down below the bell. So a 1202.5 is going to be a much stronger motor than a 1003, an 1103, a 1002, an 1102. And so, yeah, for an open prop build like this that's going to get crashed hard, I think 1202.5 is the way to go. You're going to have a little bit more power than you need, so just motor limit it down, and away you go. If someday you need the extra power, you've got it available. The GemFan 2023s, I think, are the best bet. Definitely run a propeller with T-mount screws. If you don't run T-mount screws, you're relying on the motor shaft with the propeller on it to handle all of that bending force when you crash, and it's just going to break it right off. Once we're at this weight and power level, you need the T-mount screws to make it durable enough. This setup is really, really, really good. There's a bunch of 2-inch frames out there. They're all really good. Close your eyes and point, or pick the one that you can get the cheapest or the quickest or whatever. Sub 250G FPV has a bunch. Yeah, I can't do anything about the lag, guys. I apologize. YouTube is just shit. There we go. Basilius, JHEMCU G474EL VTX. That's this AIO. There's a bunch of these 1S or 2S AIOs. They're all pretty similar. There's also the Happy Model X12 or X14. They're also going to be really good. Yeah, not one AIO I don't think is going to be better than another. As long as they don't catch on fire when you plug them in, they're going to be pretty fine. This has been an absolute blast. Huge thank you and shout out to Maxx Frames, MAXX_frames on Instagram, for sending me this frame. I bought the frame. He sent me these motors and this AIO though. And so huge thank you to him for doing that. That was really cool. And yeah, I've had an absolute blast flying it. His 3D prints are pretty awesome as well. I actually just messaged him asking him for the 3D print files. I'm going to print these out in purple. Just because, vanity. But yeah, man, very, very, very fun to fly. And it's held up great. Again, I haven't crashed it really, really hard yet. At some point I will, and we'll really get to see. But yeah, it's been good. Yamasur says, Tattoo had a new 4S 1000 mAh R-Line V6. Oh my God, that weighs 100 grams. That's really light. So that might be a good option for the heavy 3.5, 3.6 inch quads. Yeah, for sure it will. I haven't seen that battery. Tattoo 4S 1000 mAh. I guess this is going to be it. Nope, that's not it. That's 10,000 mAh. I want 1,000 mAh. Is it an airsoft battery? Nope, that's not it. That's another 10,000 mAh. Is this it? I bet you this is it. Come on. Okay, great. Way to go, Banggood. Maybe this is it? No, that's not it. Well, in theory, it's here somewhere. How can I... All right, so we'll go capacity range. 1,300, 15, 2,000. Maybe it's so new that they haven't even added it to their website yet because I'm not seeing it on here. But yeah, that would be great. A 4S 1000 mAh battery at 100 grams. That would be amazing. I suspect that that's going to be a high volt battery. I tend to stay away from those, but apparently they've gotten better. So yeah, you never know. Uriel says, why don't you have outdoor whoop gates? You don't hit the trees so hard. I just think it looks kind of shitty. And like when you're flying outside, you're shooting much bigger gaps, like to up, like these gates that are inside. to put them outside, they become really, really small. But mainly it just kind of looks shitty. If we had a backyard that was flyable, I might do it back there because nobody would see it, but I'm not going to do that in the front yard. Maggie would stab me, rightfully so. Dylan Moe says, invested in this one, have the frame showing up tomorrow. Which frame? Unanticipated Bill says, I've been running a GMB. I think maybe he means GNB. 930 MAH. They weigh 100 grams, so it's 360 all up. I'm going to assume that is a high volt. GNB 4S. What did you say? 930? 930 MAH. Let's see. Sure enough. Oh, I have one of these. Yeah. So this is basically just. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. This is basically just a high volt version of the 4S 850s. I've had pretty good luck with this battery. I bought one of these a while back, and it's held up. Unfortunately, all of my other batteries are non-high volt, so it's super annoying bouncing the charger back and forth between high volt and not high volt. And so usually I just charge this thing up standard, so it basically becomes an 850. But yeah. Dylan Moe says Maxx M2 is showing up. I had a feeling that's what you were talking about. I just wanted to confirm it. Yamasaur posted the link in the Discord to the R-Line 4S 1000 MAH. Let's take a look. Look at that. Visit site. Let's see. Very, very cool. So it's not out quite yet. But damn, dude. Tell us if it's high volt, Tattoo. Are you high volt? Doesn't look like it's high volt. They are not mentioned. Did I just see HV? Let's just do this. Command F, search for HV. Nope. It is not a high volt, unless they're just not saying it's a high volt. That is wild, man. If that really is 100 grams, where does it say 100 grams? There it is. Approximately 100 grams. If this is truly 100 grams, I will be buying some of these to replace my 4S 850s, because that's what the 850s weigh. I'm assuming the fact that it's a version 6 is why they've managed to get an extra 150 milliamps into this thing without it gaining any weight over their old version 1 4S 850s that I've been running forever. And so, yeah, very, very cool. Good spot. I can't wait for this to actually come out. That's awesome. That's proper progress in the world of batteries, which is kind of rare. By the way, here's Maxx Frames' Instagram page, MAXX_frames. Just like I said earlier, you just message him to order the frame. So just shoot him a message on here, and he'll hook you up. He'll send you I think he sends over a PayPal invoice, if I'm not mistaken, and you just click pay, and away you go. So yeah, very, very cool. I've been having a lot of fun with this thing. Also, for the record, he did design this for HD. So I have this set up as analog because my baby turtle is the 2-inch rig that I've already got built with HD. But yeah, you could very easily look at all that deck height that's left there. And there is a 3D print included for the 04 light camera. So yeah, this will be amazing this will be just as good as the 2-inch baby turtle that I showed a lot of footage of last week in Florida with the 04 light on board. So yeah, very, very cool. Unanticipated Bill says that GNB isn't high volt, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it is. Let me grab mine. I'm pretty sure it says on it. Look at me, I stood up and walked over instead of just going to the website to look at it. Hold on. I can't fucking read anymore. 4S4. No, maybe it's not. 14.8 volt. 14.8 volt. Is that the same as a regular 4S battery? 14.8, is that right? Hold on. you in a second. No, it is. Look at that. It's not a high volt. Oh, shit. Okay. Why the hell did I think it was a high volt? That's weird. It performs just like all the other 850s. I've never noticed it getting more runtime. Damn. Why the hell? I guess I'm assuming I thought it was high volt because a lot of the batteries with those crazy looking labels from GNB are high volt. That's annoying. Whatever. Learn something every day. Thank you for pointing that out. 6,000. Capital C says, have you flown the HQ 2.5 by 2.1 by 3 props? Curious what you think. I have not because, wait, no, I think I have. I think that is, earlier in the live stream, I showed 4 HQ 2.5-inch props on their website that I can't find in the US. No, I have not. The most recent prop that I got was the GemFan 2520, which was in that edit that I put up with all that flight footage. Yeah, I can't find any of these HQ 2.5-inch props in stock in the US anywhere. So yeah, we're... am I just missing something? But the GemFan 2520s are really awesome. I was really impressed by those. Ryan says, hope you're having a happy Sunday, man. You think we will ever get Tiny Whoop AIOs or even a Zeus-style Nano VTX with more than 400 milliwatts? No. Even at 400 when you set these AIOs to 400 milliwatts, they only put out 400 milliwatts for like a split second before they overheat. AIOs, it's a miracle that they work at all. Having a VTX on board is kind of the worst thing. Like, if you're going to remove something from an all-in-one, the VTX would be the best thing to remove from like a heat standpoint. And so there's pretty much no reason for an AIO to have any more than 400 milliwatts because it's just going to overheat right away and either blow up, or what they do now is they throttle themselves down, and so it'll throttle down to 200 milliwatts in a New York minute. So yeah, I don't think we'll ever see it. Even if we do see it, you shouldn't buy it because it's just marketing bullshit, unless they've got like some kind of a heat sink on there connected to the VTX chip or some other weirdness like that, which again, I doubt that we would ever get. So yeah. Cool. I'm going to cut this one a little bit short. No, I'm not. I have a couple batteries to fly. That's right. Oh, I did want to fly a few batteries. We're going to fly a few batteries, and then I'm going to get out of here. I'm really hungry. And if I'm completely honest, last night in the middle of the night, the depression came and ate my face. And so I'm not feeling too great here today. I'm just trying to kind of mash through. It would be nice to just kind of chill for a little bit. I am going out to I'm not teaching people to dance tonight. I'm actually going to a West Coast Swing dance class in Alpharetta. I haven't been to a class where I didn't teach in like a year. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Although, yeah, I don't know. My brain is just being an asshole at the moment. Let's fly a few batteries though. Maybe that'll make me feel better. Let's fly a Air 65 V2. How about that? Ooh, no, here's a fun comparison. We'll compare tri-blades to bi-blades. These two, this is an old school Air 65 Champion on 0702 30,000s. This is the Air 65 V2 on 0702 32,000s. This is on HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 tri-blades. This is on HQ 1.2 by 1.2 by 2 bi-blades. Both on CO3s, both on the new... Wow, these are identical. Yeah, these are identical. This guy does have an ORT micro-V antenna. This has a janky little piece of wire antenna. So you might see a difference there as well. We're going to fly 280s first, one, then one, and then we're going to do two 320s. Cool? Bi-blades first. Bi-blades first. Bi-blades and shitty antenna first. How about that? Let's do it. Let's struggle. This is me flying the remainder of my 6 batteries for the day. You better follow suit, friends. No excuses. 280 MAH. Upstairs, and we're going to do a full throttle rip. Ooh, look at this. This CO3 is struggling. That was not a great full throttle blast. That was a little bit better. Oh, God. Easy. Super snappy with these bi-blades. Super loose with the bi-blades. But super snappy. They are very lightweight. The response time that you get with these propellers is wild. So this is on an Air 65 V2 frame with a very skinny duct on it. This is about as slippery as it gets. This is basically an outdoor 1.2-inch whoop. Frame has a very thin duct on it. And then these are bi-blades. Hey, that was a hard hit. Oh my God, so was that. I tried to really just let it sit looking down for a little too long. I guess you're also going to get to see the difference between one of the older CO3s, which is this one, and one of the newer CO3s. Although, let me just make sure that the lens isn't dirty. It looks like it might be a little scummed up. We get fingerprints all over these lenses when we take the batteries out. And so they tend to get really dirty. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. But it wasn't really handling the light all that well. There's also a weird font in this OSD. Oh, God. My God, the sharpness that you get with these bi-blades is really fun. But boy, oh boy, are they slippery in the corners. Like, look at all that slide. Look at all that slide. Forward, turn it sideways. Forward, turn it sideways. Get some momentum. Let's turn it sideways. Momentum. Look at it, just keeps... Oh, whoa. That was a weird one. Very fun. Just very challenging. Ah! Ay, oy vey. Oh my God, what am I doing? Where is this? Where am I right now? Oh my goodness. That'll never happen again. Big power loop. Great power from these bi-blades as well. 1.2 pitch. Ugh. Why do I keep coming up short on that? Let's try one more time. There we go. I was just flying it wrong. Ah! I'm getting on the throttle a little too early. Ah! Again, getting on the throttle too early. I mean, that could be because of the better response time. I'm maybe so used to the tri-blades having slightly slower response time that I'm hitting the throttle too early. That's plenty. 3 minutes and 21. Great runtime. Jesus. Let me... If I don't fix this... If I don't fix this OSD right now, I'm going to forget. And also, I want to put this on the new settings for crash recovery. So anybody that hasn't turned crash recovery on yet, you can just copy my settings because they work really well. You might have to change them a little bit, but you might not. Might be able to just copy and paste them. So I'm just going to come in here to OSD and font manager. We're going to open font file on desktop. Come on. I don't know why you're spinning up a hard drive. There's nothing there for you. All right, so here's this really cool font file that Kelvin made for me. And then we're going to upload font. And now I just have to change the craft name to this series of characters for it to put my logo up there, which is really, really cool. Save and reboot. And then in my stickies here, I've got, so here it is. Here's what I run for crash recovery that works really, really, really well. This works really well for me specifically and my rates. If you have different rates or if you're a different person than me, it might not work perfectly for you. But that's what I run and it works amazing. Drop that in, save it, and there we go. All right, so now we're going to go over to another 280 mAh battery, but on tri-blades. Same motors, same KV, same all-up weight, better antenna, and a newer CO3 camera. Let's clean this lens before we even fly it. So this is now a pretty much stock Air 65 V3. I think this is the battery that I didn't run. Sorry, not V3, V2. Air 65 V2 race with the 30,000 kV. Oh, 702s. All right, bi-blade time. Sorry, tri-blade time. What the hell's going on with the VTX? What? Oh, the other quad's powered on because it's plugged in. All right, here we go. Oh boy. It's freaking out. Why is it freaking out? Well, let's try to get a full throttle rip in. I forgot to even look at the RPM. Oh, for fuck's sake. And I bet you I just broke something. Not broke, but disassembled. Maybe not. Oh, shit. Wow, how did it bounce all the way back there? There we go. I didn't check what the RPM was on that last battery, but whenever I disarmed it, oh my god, there's a little tiny person here. Was she watching Queso? She watching Queso. I didn't realize she was there a minute ago. The dog's pinning her down. Look at this good dog, man. Look how good this dog is. Look at that look. So it is up there freaking out. See how it's bouncing up and down on elevation? It is, something ain't right. I've been having more and more problems with this rig as I fly more batteries through it. Something's going on, and I haven't been able to figure it all the way out. What's really insane is the build we were just flying, which was behaving perfectly, is an old Air AIO. The ones that didn't really last all that long. Ooh, this battery might be effed up. This is nowhere near enough runtime. Well, no, actually, it could very well be the tune being all angry. So, like, yeah, it's not the RPMs just are not coming down on this. We will back this off, but oh shitters. Way more grip from the tri-blades. They're just way more accurate. Ignore that runtime. Something was going on for the majority of this battery. Yeah. We're going to go back to... Hold on. Do I have the right setup on this one? I do. We're going to go back to the bi-blades on a heavier... Well, no, we'll stay here. We'll stay on this rig, and now we'll go up to a 320 mAh battery. So I think this battery is like 1.1, 1.2 grams heavier. Same build. Maybe pulling the PIDs down like that will have chilled it out a little bit. Yep, now it sounds a lot better. So hopefully we'll get a more representative runtime with this. My God, these motors make really good power. Man, the hang time. All right, we won't harass Little Boo anymore. Oh, no. I'm falling down the stairs. Oh, it totally just ate that clump of hair. Guaranteed. Oh, I tried to do a sneaky little backflip through this gate. Into the cube. Can't quite get it. Oh, that was sloppy. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, I thought I could just squeak it in there. Not quite. Let's try that bar cart power loop that we've been trying to get. Oh my God, are you... As Queso says, never mind. I'm not going to say that. It's too awful. Oh, God damn it! Let me do it! Oh, I am having a rough time. Nope, not going to do it on this rig. Maybe I'll do it on the bi-blades. I'll try it one more time. Fuck, dude, what the hell? Oh, you're kidding. Oh my God. And I guess it is kind of difficult. It's right next to the wall, so like God knows what's going. It feels like I'm kind of getting sucked into the wall a little bit. Maybe not, but maybe. I don't know. Not my best day of flying. Not my worst, but not my best. Ugelin says, if you tried the 1.2 by 1 by 3 HQ ultralight props yet, I found them on WeBleed and really dig the balance, grip, slip. They're the same as the... I got them like really early. I can't tell a difference between those and these, which are 1.2 by 0.9 by 3. I'm sure like a top tier racer could see the difference on a clock, but like, yeah, no, none of us are going to be able to tell a difference. At some point, they'll probably stop selling the 1.2 by 0.9 by 3s, and then you'll only be able to get the one pitch, which is fine. So yeah, don't like, if you have these 0.9s, don't like switch and think that it's gonna be any better. Any difference that you feel is probably gonna be placebo. Oh, you know what I will say is the difference between these two rigs? This Champion Edition is direct soldered. I didn't even realize that. So the Champion Edition is direct soldered, and it's probably a lot lighter. It's direct soldered, and it's on a shitty little wire antenna, and it's on bi-blades, so it's probably quite a bit lighter, actually. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, God, and it's on the lighter frame. Yeah, these two are fairly different. Wow, that's light. 16.4 grams is what I'm about to fly. On the tri-blades, oh my god, okay, 17.8. Okay, so these are actually quite different. What's fun about these being different like this, though, this is a lot heavier, but it's on the grippier tri-blades. This is a lot lighter, but it's on the more slippery bi-blades. That's kind of what you would want. Like, if you're going to put a rig on bi-blades, it should be as light as possible, because the lighter it is, the less momentum it's going to carry. So yeah, kind of cool. Yeah, this is on the new Air 65 Champion frame with the super light frame. This is really light, yo. 16.4 grams. It's got all metal hardware. It is on the old AIO, though, so this old Air AIO will die at some point here. But yeah, that would explain why this feels so good on the bi-blades. That would also explain why this is getting a little bit of extra flight time. If you build something that's like 1.5 grams lighter in Tiny Whoop land, it's absolutely going to get better runtime. Holy momentum. That is like the quickest throttle blast that I can do. Muffins are all gone. Not muffins. I guess they are muffins. Wish the fan was on. I have not dialed in a good fan orbit. Well, mainly because the fan is now spinning to the right since it's warm weather time, and I don't do very good right-handed orbits. I do much better left-handed orbits. So this is me practicing a right-handed orbit. Boy, am I weak with my right-handed orbits. Hey! Oh! I don't know how it landed on the couch, but I'll take it. Oh, fart! I chickened out dropping it into the cube. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, I was going for that hi-hat hit. I was going to play a little ditty. Oh wait, let's get that bar cart power loop going. Ooh, the bi-blades will make it easier. Apparently the bi-blades made it easier. I think I just got lucky. Yeah, I just got lucky. Oh my god, really? Jesus. Yeah, it's hard. It's way harder than it looks, I think. I hope. It's actually pretty confusing because like there's a lot of stuff whizzing by. It's hard for me to determine how much I've rotated. Because there's so much stuff whizzing by. Usually I've got like usually on a power loop it's like ceiling. Usually it's pretty obvious where the ceiling is. Oh god, something happens. Something happens. There's all the jello in the world. Something has happened. Bend a prop. Oh no, I broke a prop. The whole outside of the propeller is broken off. Look at that. Yikes. That's good. We flew some. Flyer 6 batteries today, friends. You'll be a better pilot tomorrow because of it. Yeah, start beeping. I was just waiting for you to start beeping, you ass face. We get caught up on chat and get out of here. Oh, it's 4:54. Look at me doing a full 2-hour live stream. I was just teasing you. I was making you appreciate the fact that I don't know. In the chat, Ryan says, I've tried Beyblade once and hated them because how slippery and slidey they felt in turns and how delayed they felt they responded to the throttle inputs. So that is a great example of placebo. They are actually they are significantly lighter weight, and so they are more responsive to throttle inputs. And they've only got 2 blades versus 3, but they're more pitchy. So the blades are extra pitchy, 1.2 versus 0.9. And so that makes up for the fact that, and it's so, I mean, if you had them on a really low KV motor, maybe that could be true, but I really do doubt it. On any high KV motor, and just every time I fly them, I'm blown away by how responsive they are. Because they're so lightweight, they're going to be able to spin up and down quicker. And so, yeah, that's a perfect example of like potentially a perfect example of placebo, which there's a lot of. It's really, really, really hard to tell the difference between stuff. All right, let me get caught up on chat here. Capital C ordered some of the HQ props from Ali. I think they're a contender. I'll order some more and send you a pack. Very cool. Thank you, dude. Yura says we were there for you. I appreciate it, dude. Ryan says, don't forget it has ball bearings. That's right. Yeah, the Champion Edition motors have ball bearings. Kind of cool. I gotta pull this propeller off here. Look at that, man. Shnikes. I'll cut you. Labatt says, do you notice the difference from the ORT ant weight? On the tiny whoops, yes. Well, it depends. If you're gonna compare an ORT Micro V to a janky little piece of wire like this, yes, you can tell the difference. If you compare the ORT Micro V to any other antenna, including like, even a short whip antenna that still has the ground plane, then no, you're not going to notice the difference in weight. The ORT Micro V is the sweet spot for sure. It is only like fractionally lighter than this little guy, but the performance is way better. It's the performance of the ORT Micro V is better than the whip antennas, but it's lighter than most of the whip antennas. If these are short enough, they'll be the same weight. But yeah, it weighs the same, if not slightly lighter than a whip antenna, but it outperforms it. It is a lot lighter than a CP antenna, and almost outperforms it. CP antennas will do better with multipathing, but you pay a difference in weight. So yeah, the ORT Micro V is like in that perfect middle ground where you get a lot of performance. They're very lightweight. They're infinitely durable. They're actually even more durable than these antennas because you can chop this and then it'll be not tuned. So the ORTs are magic. It's well worth. These little janky wire antennas, like, they perform significantly worse. Like, you lose a lot of performance when you lose the ground plane. If you're flying 10 feet away from yourself, it kind of doesn't matter. But like when I go upstairs, it absolutely makes a difference. So yeah, there's that. Mike K says, check Discord General. My local club designed the frame, raced them in a big barn that's used only for FPV. I kept one in a wood. I slammed one into a wooden beam at full throttle and kept going. Oh my god. There looks like there's these little toothpicks. Very cool. It's It's a big, thick canopy. And they're on these Emax Rush props, which are very, very durable. Good prop choice for something that you're going to be slamming around like that. Capital C says, is it okay to use alcohol to clean these tiny camera lenses? I wouldn't. Sometimes they put a coating on them. Just use your shirt or a lintless cloth. Clean them dry. You'll be fine. Or just use your spit. Labatt says, do you think you can put some of your custom Betaflight CLI settings in your Patreon? I tend to not want to just give you my personal settings because my personal settings are specifically for my builds, my flying style. I much prefer to talk about this stuff and explain it so that you can dial them in for yourself. So yeah, the answer is kind of no. But when I talk about them, I typically will show you. So if you want to take the super easy way out and just copy and paste somebody else's stuff, you can. I never recommend that though. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that. I've chosen long form content here so that we can have conversations and so that we can dive into this stuff and so that you can understand this stuff. And then you can set it perfectly for you and you can set it perfectly for each individual build. That is a much better situation than just copying somebody's homework. And, if you copy the homework wrong, you could lose a quad or you could lose a finger. So yeah, it's a little sketchy to copy somebody else's homework in the world of FPV. Striker says, I just built Air 75 Tree Toppers Matrix V2. Any suggestions on channels to watch or videos to watch on how to tune whoops? I've tuned 5 inches before and 3 inch, but never whoop. I've been doing quite a bit of that lately, so I would just keep it here. The only other person that dives into whoop tuning is Quad66. Ryan says, just remembered Chris Rosser measured the original Air AIO at over 500 milliwatts on R8 at his desk. Looks like it handled the power without throttling, so thicker PCB might handle even more heat. Maybe. Yeah. I've never seen that. I've never seen an AIO stay at like above 200 milliwatts for more than like a second. God knows what's happening once there's air on them. Ryan's got a whole bunch of questions in a row. Here we go. Ever put peak screws on your 65 millimeter builds? Yes, and then they broke and they were a nightmare to remove, and I never did it again. It's not worth it, in my opinion. Ryan also says, you ever trippy spin that ceiling fan? No, I hate the way trippy spins look. I'm not very good at them, and it's a really short amount of space. Regular orbits look way better, and I've done that quite a bit with the ceiling fan. Also asks, I think something is going on with the DVR capture. It occasionally goes to like 2 FPS and then goes back to normal. Maybe it needs to be restarted on something. I'm going to assume that you accidentally typed DVR capture and you meant to type live stream. Unfortunately I can't control that. YouTube's live streaming compression is pretty awful. Some days it's worse than others. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. Send a letter. You guys have more weight in YouTube world than I do. They don't care about those of us that create content. So send them a nasty letter that says, fix your fucking live streaming. It's a nightmare. And you have lots of people live streaming on your service. Uriel's going to light a candle for us. Ryan is also saying, hope you have fun dancing tonight, man. Thank you, dude. The specific drone that felt slippy and slidey was Flylens 85. Maybe the reason it felt so unresponsive was too much weight for the size. Uses the 2-inch poly gem fan props, I think. Yeah, if you're going to run bi-blades, you got to have motors that have good RPM. So that would be my guess. Yeah, because if you have a set of motors that has enough RPM, a bi-blade will always feel quicker and more responsive because it's so much lighter. Amit says, what's up? Unanticipated Bill says, can you share your black box tool JSON thing? I don't have a Black Box Tool JSON thing. I barely know Black Box. Mike K says, what's the best analog camera for outdoor on a Mobula 8? The Ant Cam sucks in daylight. I've not found the best. I still have to do a live stream with the... Thank you for reminding me, actually. I still have to do a live stream with this camera rig to test a bunch outside. I don't know the best camera outside. The CO3s are pretty good though, but some of the older CO3s are actually really bad outside. But the newer CO3s are pretty good outside. And then Amit, with the last comment of the live stream, he says, what do you think about the AIO 15 HD0 on 2-inch and above? I'm not a fan of HD0 as a video source. The way that it breaks up is really ugly, and I have a really hard time flying through it. So yeah, I'm not really the guy, and I've also not tested the AIO 15. And so yeah, I'm not really the best guy to ask about it. My general feeling about HD0 for video is that it only really makes sense for hardcore racers. For flying freestyle or just flying for fun, I would rather have analog, to be totally honest. Unanticipated Bill says the Black Box Explorer workspace settings. Oh, okay, they're not mine. Those are UAV Tech's. UAV TECH. He's got a video at some point how to set up his workspace. I followed that video. I don't remember how to do it, to be honest. I did it so long ago. But yeah, UAV Tech. He's the man in terms of Black Box stuff. You'll learn a lot from his channel. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'll see you tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. I'm not sure what we'll do, but it'll be fun. Maybe we'll finish this thing up together. Let me fix something before I forget. I want to turn that back on. There we go. Oh, I can move this over too while I'm at it. Sweet. Thanks for hanging, people. CiottiFPV.com to support me. Sorry for a little bit low energy live stream. I'm just fist fighting depression inside of my pain in the ass brain. Be good. Talk to your friends about mental health shit. It's an epidemic with us men. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Here's the last battery that I flew with the GemFan 2023s, the props that I like the most.
Jamming a little bit harder on
Maxx
that one.
frames
So, there you go. Emax Avan Blur.
See ya!
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy Spaghetti's fur flies and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. They zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shotty's on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah, yo, Shotty behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle Mike. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive. Teddy push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in. Teddy, yeah. Let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind. Teddy, yep. Yeah. CiottiFPV, Teddy's spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy's spaghetti. Barking at the breeze, rolling at top speed things, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bark cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends singing loud. Yeah, Teddy's spaghetti and CiottiFPV always proud.